All right, Disney Room, we are on chapter 8, and we're ready to find out who wrote the love letter. Sam is here with me, and we're cozying up to find out, right, Sam?
Yep.
All right. Meanwhile, Lily Crump waited at her house and waited and waited. Tiger's in on the action too now. Why don't they call, she thought. She wrung her hands. She paced back and forth. She stared out the window. You see, Lily Crump was lonely. She had no brothers or sisters. She didn't even have a cat or a dog. All she had was in an itty-bitty fish with buggy eyes. So when the phone finally rang, Lily leaped to answer. Hello? Her heart was pounding. Lily? Lily recognized Drake's voice. Yes? We've got your answer, Miss Crump. Come to the lab immediately. I'll be right there, squeaked Lily. Lily was true to her word. Within 5 minutes she arrived. I ran the whole way, she gasped. Now tell me before I die, who is it? Who's in love with me? Drake pushed up his glasses. Observe, he said, pointing to the strips of paper. Inks are not all the same. Certainly not, agreed Nell. An ink may look black, said Drake. Or blue, added Nell. But they are in fact made of many different colors. Nell and I separated the colors in a process called chromatography. It's quite elementary, really. As alcohol moves through the ink, the different colors separate. That's because, Nell explained, the different colors do not have the same weight. They move faster or slower depending on how heavy they are. She pointed at the strips of paper with her long wooden pointer. As you can see, each ink is like a fingerprint. All we had to do was match the ink in the letter. With the ink on the paper strips, finished Drake proudly. And each strip is carefully labeled, so we know whose pen it is. And? Asked Lily, her eyes wide. Whose was it? Who wrote me the letter? Drake and Nell glanced at each other. Drake swallowed hard. The science of love was proving to be quite a challenge. You tell her, he said. Nell took a deep breath. Miss Crump, I think you better sit down. Lily sat. She could hardly wait. It was baloney, Nell finally blurted. Bubba Baloney Mahoney. Suddenly there was a silence, a deep silence, a deep, dark silence, a deep, dark, dreadful silence. A silence rather like when you've just found out that your favorite football team has beaten 85-0, or perhaps when your teacher tells you that yes, your assignment was due today. Drake couldn't stand it any longer. He shook Lily's shoulders. Snap out of it, he ordered. Lily didn't respond. Instead, she slid off the stool like a wet noodle and fell onto the floor. Drake was desperate. He knew that if he didn't do something soon, Lily might go into shock. After that, a coma. After that, well, he knew that whatever it was, it would be quite awful. Quick, Scientist Nell, hollered Drake. Pour a beaker of water over Miss Crump's head. There was not a second to lose. 400 milliliters should do the trick. Check. Sploosh. Splutter. Dazed and drowned, Lily stared at them. Her hair dangled in limp, soggy strings like a wet mop that hadn't yet been wrung out. Speak, ordered Drake. Oh, baloney, Lily said. She clasped her hands together. Huh? Drake and Nell looked at each other in astonishment. Thank you, Detective Drake and Scientist Nell. Thank you. This is the happiest day of my life. Lily gave each of them a teeny tiny hug. Drake returned the love letter along with a business card. Call us anytime. Oh, I will, Lily said. Then she flew out of the room as fast as her little legs could carry her. After she was gone, Nell shook her head. There are some things science can't explain. Indeed, Scientist Nell, Drake said. Indeed. Okay, here's the picture of her falling like a wet noodle. That evening, Drake wrote in his lab notebook, Love letter mystery solved. Baloney the culprit. Don't understand this thing called love. A mystery. Received one fish with buggy eyes as a payment. Must return in 1 week. Paid in full. And that's the end of chapter 8.